At Numerian Capital, we bring you the latest stock news each day. Please like and subscribe so we can bring these articles to you each day. Thank you.
Today, October 27, 2022, why is NIO stock down 5% today? More lockdowns in China are affecting NIO stock. NIO stock is falling on Thursday as China begins more lockdowns. This news comes after President Xi Jinping secured a third term in office. Continued lockdowns are part of the country's zero-COVID policy. NIO, NIO, stock is falling on Thursday as Chinese stocks continue to see volatility following news that President Xi Jinping has secured a third term. President Xi Jinping has been strictly enforcing COVID-19 lockdowns, which have continued to hurt the Chinese economy. The president has also suggested that lockdowns will continue as the government takes swift action to combat the virus. The big news affecting NIO stock today is the fact that major cities in China are seeing additional lockdowns. Wuhan and several other Chinese cities are reportedly going into new lockdowns as part of Xi Jinping's zero-COVID policy. What this means for NIO stock? NIO, as well as other Chinese companies, will likely continue to see volatility thanks to the lockdowns. This will cause problems for supply chains, which will in turn harm production and earnings. The electric vehicle sector has already been feeling this kind of pain, with chip shortages affecting stocks over the last couple of years. That's due in part to lockdowns, which have kept workers from factories. NIO is seeing strong trading today as investors sell off shares. As of this writing, more than 44 million shares have changed hands. That's quickly approaching the daily average trading volume of about 48 million shares. NIO stock is down 4.7% as of Thursday morning and down 69% since the start of the year. 5 big investors betting against NIO stock. NIO delivered 31,607 vehicles in the third quarter. Susquehanna International Group owns the most put options against NIO. Other notable put holders include Citadel Advisors and Group 1 Trading. Shares of NIO stock are down over 65% year to date. Shares of NIO are trading lower following news earlier this week that Chinese President Xi Jinping has secured a third term. During his third term, Jinping is expected to continue his strict reign of economic controls and coronavirus lockdowns, sending Chinese stocks lower across the board. Diana Quiliva of NIO Economics added. Investors are now repositioning for a China where Xi Jinping rules supreme in an echo chamber of sycophants. For him, ideology and national security trump all other considerations, including growth. Meanwhile, electric vehicle competitor Tesla announced earlier this week that it would cut prices for its Model 3 and Y vehicles by up to 9% in China. The Model 3 will now have a starting price of $36,615, while the Model Y will have a starting price of $39,780. Following the news, investors became worried the price cuts were due to a lack of Chinese demand. During September, NIO delivered a total of 10,878 vehicles, while deliveries for the new ET5 model began late that month. That brought third quarter deliveries to a total of 31,607 vehicles, up 29.3% year over year and also a record quarterly high. Since inception, the automaker has now delivered a total of 249,504 vehicles. NIO reported excellent third quarter delivery growth, although the EV company still has its fair share of skeptics. Let's get into the details. 5 big investors short selling NIO stock. The institutional put-to-call ratio tallied in at 129 among all 13 F filers as of the end of second quarter, compared to 1.41 last quarter. That's equivalent to 41.15 million calls and 53.64 million calls, implying a bearish option stance. Meanwhile, CEO William Li remains the largest shareholder of NIO stock through his investment vehicle, Original Wish. As of first quarter, he owns a total of 177.47 million shares. Tencent is the second largest shareholder and owns 164.25 million shares. With that in mind, let's take a look at the largest put holders of the company. 1. Susquehanna International Group owns put options against 12.53 million shares of NIO. The firm also owns 12.12 million call options. 2. Citadel Advisors owns put options against 7.71 million shares of NIO and call options against 9.42 million shares. 3. Group 1 Trading owns put options against 5.3 million shares of NIO and call options against 2.68 million shares. 4. Jane Street Group owns put options against 3.9 million shares of NIO and call options against 4.34 million shares. 5. Wolverine Asset Management owns put options against 3.4 million shares of NIO and call options against 4,100 shares.
Thanks for watching Numerian Capital News. Please come back tomorrow for another stock news update. Thank you.